Welcome back to another action figure obsession video, and here we have the late 2016, early 2017 Hasbro Marvel Legends Green Goblin from the Sandman Build-A-Figure wave. I think that this one has largely been overshadowed in the minds of collectors by the more recent 2020 Spider-Man Retro Series Wave 1 Green Goblin, which had a lighter color palette, brighter green, those crazy googly eyes. But this guy was based on the artwork of Humberto Ramos, wonderful, one of the best Spider-Man artists to work in the last 20 or 30 years. Absolutely the demented, deranged face of evil. The evil that lurks inside Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, and his alter ego here. And I've been thinking about old Normie, Captain Cornrows, got that Steve Ditko crazy hair going on there. Been thinking about him the past few days, ever since it hit me that Norman Osborn is probably needed for my planned sort of medium-term project, Avengers Supervillains shelf that I am putting together. I have a box with the figures that I want to put in that display. They are awaiting my decisions as far as who's going to get defenestrated and evicted. Something has to give, and currently my thinking is, I have my very narrow Avengers tower display that has the top shelf of my primary Avengers, and then the West Coast Avengers on the second shelf. The third shelf is Hydra, with the Red Skull and Madam Hydra and Baron Zemo and who else? A whole bunch of Hydra soldiers and a couple Hydra brutes. Hydra Bob, who probably should be in a display with Deadpool, if I'm honest. Or at least, thinking clearly. But I don't know what it is about the Dutch angles. They always suck me back in. Just dig a good Dutch angle. I did have old Normie here on the gray-suited MCU Matt Murdock body from Spider-Man No Way Home, the movie. The one that comes with the brick and his walking stick. Yeah, 5 minutes ago, this Norman Osborn head was actually on this body. That's the head, by the way. The Norman Osborn head does come from that 2020 Spider-Man Retro Series Wave 1 Green Goblin, the one with the brighter color scheme. And he's been fairly easy to get in recent times. He was over $100 figure, that 2020 Green Goblin. Not this one, but the one from 2020. This one was expensive for a while, too. I don't even know what he goes for anymore, but he was well over $100 before that retro one came out. And, this Norman head came on that 2020 Retro Spider-Man, which sold out very, very quickly back in 2020 and has only just recently been re-released by Hasbro. It's always wonderful when they do that, when they finally go, you know what, we're leaving some money on the table. How can we bulk up our revenues for, the third quarter or whatever? Well, a lot of people like that Green Goblin. He's going for like $140 on eBay. I'm like, all right, well, just tell the factory, make some more. And when they do it that way, they just did it with the can I reach him? Can I reach him? Let's see if I can reach him without a mass casualty event here. Yeah, that's him. They did just re-release this Marvel Legends 20 years Captain America from the 2022, right? 2022 Wave 1, the Toy Biz 20th anniversary line. They just re-released this guy. A lot of people are happy to be able to get him. It's interesting to see how many people are deliriously happy on Reddit and elsewhere to be getting him when the Marvel vs. Capcom Captain America, which is, it shares some body parts with this, but it is also very different and pinless and doesn't have the scale mail or the shading that's all over this bad boy. It's interesting to see how there seems to be kind of a low key schism between the people who think this guy is the best one, and the Marvel versus Capcom Gamerverse one is the best one. I think that I like them equally. I'm really not going to play favorites, and I think that they are currently, of all of the Captain Americas that Hasbro Marvel Legends has done since 2014, the classic Steve Rogers Captain Americas, and the modern era of those Captain Americas, as I've said before, began in 2014 with the release of the Red Onslaught Wave Captain America, also known as the Wolf Cap or Cap Wolf, whichever you prefer. Came with the extra werewolf head, so you could turn Captain America into a werewolf Captain America. 2014, that was the beginning of the modern excellence by comparison to all previous ones, Captain America, with better articulation and better engineering and better design. Check out my two-part video that I did called The Evolution of Modern Captain America, or Modern Marvel Legends Captain America, where I show you all 5 of the figures that matter from 2014 until 2025. And how it evolved over that time. And you got to watch both parts, because there's some things that I forgot to mention in part 1. I'm like, part 2, I noticed them, and I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell you. But I do think the pinnacle, I mean, and pardon the pun, but this figure does have pins, the 2022 Captain America. I've never had any gumminess or warping or any problems with his pinned joints. They don't bother me at all. But if you prefer pinless, you probably want the Marvel vs. Capcom one. Hey, isn't this video about Norman Osborn? But you can't go wrong either way. And I did, yep, there goes Norman. Well, he's always a little off-kilter, Norman Osborn, right? I did kit this one out with the shield from the excellent Marvel Select Captain America that they released about a year before they went out of business. They went bankrupt and went out of business. Anyway, back on track. Thinking about Norman Osborn, thinking about my Avengers Supervillains display, which I think the impetus for that was doing my Taskmaster custom kit bash that I put together with the Count Nefaria body and pieces from the Udon Taskmaster, and also the House of X, Powers of 10 Magneto, the white costume Magneto. Because when I put that Taskmaster together, I was like, usually with my kit bashes, I'm a little, not disappointed. What's the word? Well, I don't know. They almost always look like a kit bash to me. Sometimes they don't. I mean, look at my Wolverine that I did here on that Secret Wars body with the head from the VHS Wolverine. That looks like Wolverine to me, and more so than the smirking head Wolverine that came with that figure. That looks like Wolverine. And this Norman Osborn certainly looks like Norman Osborn. I mean, I'm not going to go all the way with copying the color schemes of the suit and everything, because, you know, when Norman Osborn was an Avengers villain, he was making some claims to being a reputable citizen, and he was making some claims to being a leader. Some may say an authoritarian leader. So I see Norman Osborn in this display as trying to look sort of presidential, if you will. And I think that the blue suit and the, dignified look, but we know what's really lurking inside him. I think the blue suit works better for Norman Osborn than the gray suit that I had him in when he was just part of my, gray agency lineup of figures. Because I love this suited body, this gray suited body. It stands well. It's got better legs. It's taller. It's a little bulkier than any of the other suited bodies that Hasbro Marvel Legends has produced so far. It's not the Agent Coulson body, and it's also pinless, I believe. Yes, I'm looking. It's the gray suited body is pinless. This one is not pinless, but that's okay. Again, not talking about putting this Norman in a Spider-Man display, but rather in an Avengers enemies, supervillains, antagonists display with the likes of Kang the Conqueror and Loki and all the other bad guys that the Avengers have faced over the years. If you didn't get this late 2016, early 2017 Green Goblin, and you dig the style of it, I mean, it's worth hunting down. It's from the Sandman Build-A-Figure wave. I like it better than the VHS Green Goblin. I like it better than the Retro Series Green Goblin. I've kind of gone back and forth on it, but I think the more muted colors and the absolutely batshit facial expression on this guy, the polar opposite of, staid and businesslike. Who, me? A killer? A murderer? Lunatic? No, that's some other guy you're thinking of. Yeah, it sure is, Norman. It sure is. Um, I don't have an Iron Patriot. I'm not sure that I care really about that all that much. I did enjoy that Dark Avengers run, especially the artwork by Mike Diodato, who seemed to be operating in a very Gene Colan influenced style, but with a little more structure. Gene Colan was an amazing master of mood, as anyone who's read his Tomb of Dracula or his Batman comics is well aware, or Daredevil. He had a spectacular run on Daredevil, Gene Colan. But especially the last 10 years or so of his career, uh, and perhaps it was better in a way because it became pure mood and less structured, there was less bones inside the meat, but the meat that was there, it was very tasty, just to mix a metaphor, in perhaps a distasteful way. um, how did I get lost on that one? Oh, Gene Colan, Mike Diodato. Yeah, Mike Diodato did draw most of the, I think, Dark Avengers run where Norman Osborn was leading or manipulating or using the people that he assembled to be his Dark Avengers. And that is probably a display that I need to pursue at some point. Try to pick up the various figures that Hasbro has put out in the Marvel Legends line representing the Dark Avengers versions. I know there's one for Warbird. Who else did they do? The Spider-Man one with the 6 arms. And there's a whole bunch of other ones. I'd have to do a little research. And you know how I feel about research, friends. You know how I feel about research. But anyway, yeah, I'm just thinking about Norman and the Green Goblin here. In my opinion, the best Hasbro Marvel Legends Green Goblin yet. I mean, it is basically it was a modification or a remold of the Bucky Cap body, so it's a little bit on the short side. Although having him stand on his glider here doesn't hurt. This glider, unfortunately, unlike I think it was the Hobgoblin one that came with the modified porthole on the bottom for a stand. This one does not have that. I mean, I'm sure somebody more clever than I could easily figure out a way to get this guy up in the air, and he would look good. Oh, well, there we go. His feet are coming out. Oh, he doesn't have any pegs, does he? I think he just has the little stirrups there holding them in, and that's fine. That's fine. But if you don't like Bucky Cap, you might not like this Green Goblin or any Green Goblin. But I think it works. And again, if you can get him up on a flight stand, he looks pretty damn menacing. I cherish his little pumpkin bomb there. Those pumpkin bombs, if you drop them, the carpet monster's taking them and you're never getting them back. So if you look real closely, you'll see I've got a little bit of blue sticky tack in there, holding that pumpkin in his hand. You don't notice it at a distance when you're lovingly taking him in from the middle of the toy room or whatever. He does have a place of pride in my Spider-Man display. He's on the far left, right next to Spider-Man and Peter Parker and Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy. Of course, he's going to be near and dear to Gwen Stacy. He's never going to let her out of his sight, is he? Friggin' pervert. Anyway, so that's what's on my mind on this rather cold Wednesday morning. Here in northern New York, it was 17 degrees the last time I checked, and my feet are cold, and I'm going to put some shoes on and go find some caffeine and get started on my day. But I did want to tell you, because I know you're wondering. I mean, I would imagine most of you, the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning is, gee, I wonder what Avian and Loaded is doing this morning. I wonder what Avian Loaded is thinking about. What is he plotting? What is he planning? What is he scheming? You never know. I mean, this time yesterday, I never dreamed that I would be repainting my Hot Claws Wolverine with silver claws. So I don't really know. I follow my muse. I follow my muse wherever it leads. And sometimes it leads to new claws for Wolverine, and sometimes it leads to a little more incremental work on my sort of medium term plan for a Avengers enemies, supervillains, antagonists display. If you have any suggestions of who you think belongs in an Avengers enemies display, you can leave them in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, sure, give it a thumbs down. I understand. It's opinions vary. What can you do? Live and let live, right? But, thumbs down it if you hate it. And as I say, leave a comment if you have any questions or ideas for an Avengers display, or any thing you'd like to share about this or any other Green Goblin figure. And subscribe to the channel if you enjoy what I do here. That would be really cool, as we're on the road to 200 survivors, 200 survivors of the Avian and Loaded experience. We're on the road to 200 subscribers, which seems miraculous to me, and I know it's nothing in the grand scheme of things, where some action figure reviewers and people who talk about action figures have, 500,000 or 250,000 subscribers. 200 is just a drop in the bucket, but I love everyone again, and I appreciate you for hanging out here and listening to me ramble, and occasionally you leave a comment and a thumbs up, and I appreciate it, because otherwise I'd just be sitting here talking to myself, and frankly, I'd probably be doing that even if YouTube didn't exist, because that's just where I'm at. But yeah, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share the video if you know anybody who really, really likes old Captain Cornrows here, or the Green Goblin, or Spider-Man, or the Avengers, or anything that I've touched on in this video. Feel free to share it. Just hit the share button, copy the link, and send it off to all your toy-loving pals. Thanks for spending 17 minutes of your day with me here on Action Figure Obsession on the Avian and Loaded channel. I do appreciate it, and I will see you on the next one, Mr. Parker.